Welcome, my Action Principles champions. I'm Bill Fitzpatrick from BillFitzpatrick.com. I'm the founder of the American Success Institute, and I will be honored to be your teacher on your exciting journey to, well, we set a big goal, didn't we, with our first Action Principles set goals? That big goal was to be rich and retired in 20 years or less. Okay. Big goal. Well, how do you do this? Well, this is our second action principle. Divide and conquer. We take that big goal and then we divide it into a series of manageable steps. So what is it that you're going to need to do? Well, obviously you're going to need a good job, or you're going to need to start your own business. Because, well, you need money to pay your bills. Being who we are, we like to spoil those we love. And then on top of that, you still need money left for investing. Remember, it is your investments that are going to work for you so that, well, you can be retired and you don't have to work. And your investments are going to be, well, buying your own home. That's going to be important. And then on top of that, buying other real estate. Read your action principle every morning. Sign up, open your email, and your action principle will be there. It's free. You also, we know from action principle number 1, set your goals, that you've written down your goals. Because we know people with the written goals make 10 times as much money. Well, yeah, we want that to be us. So, written goals, read them every morning, read your action principle. Then, well, you're going to take your 20 minutes of quiet time every day. You're going to figure out, because you're going to stop, you're going to think, you're going to have a reflective life. You're going to be a thinking person of action. So what are you thinking about? Well, where have you been? Where are you right now? And what's your mission? Where do you want to go? What are your goals? What are your objectives? Where do you want to go in your life? You see, you're an action principles champion, not somebody who's just sitting on the sidelines. You're in the game. You are a tough, thoughtful, spiritual person of action. You're going to start doing what, you already know you should be doing. Average people, they don't have clear goals. They're reactive. They don't particularly work very hard. Whereas action principles champions have clear goals, and we are hard workers. So we can move on to our second action principle now, divide and conquer. We take those big goals that we have and we divide them into smaller, more manageable steps. Let me give you an example. 2 years after I was married, I was lucky enough to be, and still am, married to a woman whose hobby is cooking. She's a gourmet cook. She loves to cook. She's cooking. Well, when I got married, I weighed 190 pounds. Within 2 years of being married to this wonderful gourmet cook, my weight had ballooned up to 230 pounds. I was fat. So I really needed a focused goal to not be fat. What could I do? Where have I been? Where am I now? Where am I going? Well, I thought back to when I was a teenager. When I was 16, I had earned a green belt in karate. And then as a teenager, I was always working. So I had a couple of jobs. I had this, I had other interests. So I quit the karate. But it was in the back of my mind, I always regretted quitting karate. So here I was, fatso, 10 years later. Kind of in my late 20s, at 230 pounds, I decided to go back and to give karate another try. I wanted to earn my black belt. So, if you could have seen me that first day back... Back at karate, you wear this white uniform, which is called a gi. I was stuffed into this gi, which is like white pajamas. I had to start over as a white belt, and the karate belt that they give you, it's supposed to wrap around you twice. I was so fat it could only wrap around me once. Now, in a karate studio, it tends to be the walls are covered with mirrors. I mean, this is not a pretty sight for a fat person. I looked like someone who was more apt to have a heart attack than become a black belt in karate. But divide and conquer. There are 10 steps between white belt and black belt. 10 manageable steps, one by one. White belt, yellow belt, orange, purple, blue, blue-green, green, green-brown, brown, and then you become a black belt. Well, this was one of my big goals. Now, well, what about you? What are you thinking about? You're an Action Principles champion. You know, if you're working in a restaurant and you're the fry cook, this isn't good enough for you. You're not going to just go in boring day after day just being the fry cook. No, maybe you want to own the restaurant. So you're trying to figure out, well, I'm the fry cook. How do I become the head cook? How do I become a shift supervisor, the assistant manager, the manager, the owner? Let me study people who are doing this, who own restaurants, and I'm going to take courses and read and what, I'm going to figure this out step by step. Divide and conquer. Maybe you say, I'm going to go to law school, but I'm not, I want to be a famous lawyer. Well, you can chart out the steps, can't you? You tell me. What would you do if you wanted to become a famous lawyer? Well, you're going to go to high school, then you're going to go to college, you're going to do well there, then you want to go to a law school, then you're going to be trying cases, and all the time, you see, you're going to be associating with and studying people who actually are famous lawyers. And I'm sure there are all kinds of books about how to become a famous lawyer and join the bar association, figure out how the leaders in the bar are doing, and that's what you're going to do. And you're going to figure out these steps, and you're going to keep refining these steps, and you're going to keep what? Moving forward. Research. Who has done what it is that you want to do? Other people have already accomplished what it is that you want to accomplish. You're going to study them, associate with them, and then do what they are doing. You're a green belt in karate, so you're watching the brown belts. How do you become a brown belt in karate? How do you become a black belt in karate? Well, you're the green belt, and you're watching the brown belts, and the brown belts are watching the black belts. When you're going through this learning, testing, challenging process, sometimes it's going to become painful. Believe me, when I was first in there and I was the fatso trying to do all of the kicks and all that, it was pretty painful. And you look foolish and you make mistakes. Okay, yes, yeah. This is what learning is all about. But the most important thing is knowing that destination, seeing that in front of you, envisioning that big goal that you have. Then it's one day at a time. Then it's divide and conquer. I see that up there. But I can do that. Take each step of your goals and figure out what the steps are involved. I got to do this, and then I got to do this, and to reach that goal. This is how extraordinary Action Principles champions act. You're not an average person reacting just hoping that good things happen for you. No, you're proactive. You're going out and you're doing. That's what we're doing. So hoorah, let's go out there and let's do it. All right, I'll be back shortly with our next lesson, action principle number 3. I get excited. All of these action principles are great. All these action principles are going to advance you in your career. So action principle number 3, write a personal mission statement. Now, make sure that you've already completed action principle 1 and 2, that you've written down your goals, that you're thinking about them every day. Write them down, read your action principle, and then, let's start taking these goals and let's start dividing and conquering so that we can make them happen. Let's do it. I'm excited. How about you?
Thank you for listening. For more information on Bill's work, the Action Principles, and the American Success Institute, please visit billfitzpatrick.com.